Well, ladies, thank you guys for being here, for coming. And I had, envisioned this fireside chat. And, I didn't want it to be like a big group of people. And you guys came to mind, just some people that have touched me, touched my life throughout the years. And women that I consider have launched deeper, have went beyond their barriers, their limits, things where people may have told you you couldn't do something or you thought you couldn't do it. And as I'm looking around this table, I'm looking at women that I know just break all kinds of barriers. I mean, just crazy barrier breakers. So I just wanted y'all to come together as I'm launching this new business ministry. So during COVID, before COVID, you know how you kind of go through life and you end up somewhere and you're like, how did I get there? You go drive and you're like, I don't even remember making any turns. And I felt like right up into COVID, that's pretty much how my life was. I was just doing it. I was busy all the time, but I wasn't intentional about anything. I wasn't aware about stuff. I was just kind of doing life. And when COVID hit, it's like everything stopped. Everything that could be turned upside down was really turned upside down from, our business was really basically shut down. A lot of friendships, just some crazy stuff happened during that time. And I had to really take a deep look at myself. I couldn't look at other people, situation with COVID. I really had to me, it was God sort of turning my world upside down to get me to listen to him. So I ended up, it was like all this crazy stuff happening. So I reached out to my bishop, and I reached out to him and I told him, I said, I really didn't want to make this call because, we're agape transportation and it's always like, oh, we're doing this or we're doing that. And it's like calling your father up and saying, I'm failing. Things are out of control. So I really didn't want to do that. But I reached out to him and he told me to take 2 days in silence, complete silence. So the day that the silence was to start was Tuesday. Now on Tuesday, he didn't know anything about it, but that particular Tuesday, I do silence with a group out of Richmond. So I was like, okay, Lord, this is like a coincidence. Bishop is telling me to spend 2 days in silence and I'm doing this silence group. So anyway, I set out in the front yard 2 days, like 8 hours a day. I mean, I literally spent, because this group in Richmond, they spend all day. You do silence all day. It's interesting, because a lot of people, when you talk about doing silence, they're like, I can't be silent for, an hour. So anyway, just spent a couple days in complete silence. And when I say God spoke, he spoke. And out of that came launching deeper. So the beginning of 2020, we went to Dubai with some friends. When I came back, I said, Lord, I want you to take me where my feet can't take me, okay? Then all the crazy stuff happened. But when I sat under the tree, God said, I'm doing what you asked me to do. I'm taking you where your friends, your finances, none of that can take you. I'm taking you somewhere deeper. And he, it was like, and I want you to teach other people and to bring a community of people together to help them launch deeper, because there's so much more that he's purposed us for. I mean, we go through life, but there's some deep stuff that God has put in us. And sometimes we never, ever talk about it. We never put it in the atmosphere. So I really wanted to create this night as a coming out party where we just kind of speak. And I like for everybody to go around. Something that might be crazy, that God has spoken to you about, but just put it in the atmosphere. And then what we're gonna do is those things that we feel like are barriers that block us from achieving what we know our God-given potential is, whether it's, Lord, I can't do that. I don't have the money. I don't have the support. I don't have the, I'm too old, too young, whatever it is. We're going to put it on a piece of paper and we're going to burn it. And when we leave from out of here, we're going to make a commitment that we are no longer going to let that thing stop us.
One of the things that God has been dealing with me with is, and I'll use your words, is coming out. And for me, that means coming out and showcasing myself more. I think I have a great deal of exposure, but I know what is in me, the capacity that I have to reach. I'm not doing that. And I know why I'm not doing that. It's because I have imposter syndrome. And for some of you who don't know what that is sometimes I feel like I don't celebrate myself the way I celebrate others. I don't know where the root of that is. I know I deserve all the things that come to me, but I just don't know. I don't get excited. I don't tell people. I don't, like I don't expose myself. And it's a fear that I have with exposure. So I know that my voice is needed. And I do a little in the community. Again, I reach I have a population, I have a following, but I think my voice is assigned to way more people than I have reached. And so I also have an issue with trying to be perfect and be right in my own way. And it's only in one area, and that's my profession. I'm a therapist. I just want to be right all the time with what I say, how I say it, how I treat people, just everything. It's like it's almost like, the way I can describe it, it's almost like a tiptoe, because I want to always be right and not in a way, like the right is to do good in God's sight, but also to do right in the way I think it should be done. And that's not always the case. And so I have to get out of my own way. And like you said, that spending time alone in silence is extremely powerful. And that is when you can hear the voice of God.
Yes.
I haven't done that in a long time. And the barrier is in front of me. It shall move.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
I
right.
command it to move.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Puts everybody else's businesses and issues and problems, community, whatever, right in front. But I never stop to do things for myself, or to make sure that I am growing and going to my fullest potential, because I'm always occupied with helping get something done. And sometimes it's very overwhelming, because it's like I come off of one thing, and then it's the next thing, and then it's another thing, but I still have to continue to do the things that I'm already retained for to do just regularly monthly. But in addition, it's like I have to, so I just give you an example, like Tuesday, election day, I had 2 campaigns that I was on working, and the next day, 5 women, 3 women were murdered, 2 were shot. I had to get right there on top of that, because they were like, we need help, there's no one else, we're not getting the city officials to come out to help us, we need you. But the entire time as well, I'm already holding down other events and issues that I have to do. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, Kim, what are you doing for yourself? And so it becomes very overwhelming. But at the same time, because I am a full-time entrepreneur, when I don't work, then, I wouldn't get paid. So I have to continue to make sure that I am bringing in those clients and I'm doing the work that I need to do. And sometimes I tell the teacher, I'm like, why won't nobody hire me? Because I be trying to apply for jobs and stuff. And people will not hire me and call me back. Or they'll call me, they'll be like, Kimberly, you don't really want to work full time for someone. I'm like, yes, I do, because I just want guaranteed money. And then I don't have to worry about anything else. But I know that I have a greater purpose, and I know everything that I do is well. But I feel like I just don't invest in myself enough to really accomplish the goals or be at the level where I want to be. And it's like I'm always surrounded by great people who are on for the hugest levels ever, and I'm just always grateful to be around them. But I'm just like, what part am I missing that I'm not on the level with them, or I'm not growing with them as they are growing? And so it becomes very frustrating. So sometimes I'll just be in the house and I just like, I don't even want to get up. I don't want to do anything today. I just need a break. But then I remember that people still need me. I look at my phone, people are calling me, I'm looking at messages, emails. People still demand and need my services. However, sometimes I'm just like, please somebody hire me so I can just shut this down so that I don't do it. But then I know I wouldn't be happy either though, because I haven't worked for anyone since 2013, so I haven't had to be on a schedule. But however, I just have to figure out to like get to the level that I want to be so that I can continue to bring other people up with me, because it's not always about me. And I always make sure that when I get major contracts or when I work, I bring everybody up. And I feel like a lot of times, sometimes I bring people up and they go surpass me, and I'm like, hold on. I made this connection. What happened? And so it's just like, what am I missing? Like, what part am I missing? What am I not doing right? And when are you gonna take time for yourself to like really tell your story? Because oftentimes people don't even know what I do. They're just like, okay, we see over here, we see over there, but they don't really know, because I'm probably like Leticia, I try to stay behind the scenes of the things that I do. And then when people do find out what I do, I'm always in the scandal. Somebody's always dragging my name in the mud. And I be like, but nobody else can help people. And I'm the one helping and saving lives. And I'm like, some of the most powerful people call me to help them in their situations. And then maybe days later, somebody's talking about a whole nother situation. I don't even have nothing to do with it. But I'm like, my name's in it. But I'm like, y'all didn't even give me credit for the life I just saved. And so I just be wanting to stay behind the scenes. But I know really, if people really knew the things that I have accomplished or the people that I work with, because I tell people all the time, I don't even want people to know who I work with, because y'all probably, for one, y'all will probably be begging them for everything, because y'all know that y'all know that they're great people and they do phenomenal things. So you're gonna be calling them and begging them for everything. But then at the same time, though, y'all probably try to work y'all way in to get next to them or work with them and cut me all out the deal. So it's just something I have to like move in silence. But I know that I literally have to stop, because when different organizations contact me to speak to students and I get in my bio and I tell them the things I've done, they're like, you did all that? Like, you didn't know about this? And I was like, yeah, because I don't tell people. Because I'm just afraid, because it's always something. And so that is what I fight behind. I need to really tell my story and get more in front of the things that are happening, so that it's not a secret. And so then the people who are probably they really need to know who I am. They can know who I am. They can know what I offer. And then it'll probably help me grow.
Well, mine right now, I have several. But what God has pressed upon me now is freely embracing me. It's more of a mandate, because I have been behind the scenes for so long. I'm always the cheerleader for everybody else, and I always neglect what I need to do for myself. So now I am a voice for those women who have hidden behind the shadows of many for so many years. When I realized I didn't know who I was when my husband passed away, because I was always known as his wife, Mr. Nelson's wife, or whatever. Everything was pertaining to, even the girls, Jada's mom, Jemiah's mom. I really didn't have an identity, because I was always identified as being his wife and being the girl's mom. So when he passed away, I was at this place of not knowing who I was. I didn't know how to celebrate myself, so I made a promise to myself that I would always celebrate my birthday for a month. I would always do for me. So I started doing things for me. And people started noticing that I was doing things for me, but they didn't know that I was doing it through pain and through agony. I was pushed to this place. So I tried to put it on the back burner. But this year, during COVID, God has really pushed me out there. So he gave me freely embracing me. I had been saying free to be me. And he told me that I needed to put an action on it, which was embracing me. Yes, you are free to be you, but are you embracing who you really are? So now it's freely embracing me, short for FEM. And it's crazy, he took me back to the Garden of Eden. And he said, when I created male and female. So FEM is short for female. And he said that a lot of us, most women, we lost our identity in the garden. Because when Adam and Eve was in the garden, when she discovered that she was naked, God asked, how do you know you were naked? And she was trying to cover herself up with a leaf. So from the garden, we began to cover ourselves up and put on all these hats, all these labels. We have left female to mama, minister, all these other titles, and we have left our true identity. So what I am trying to do is get women to embrace who they are, even if they are not who others think they should be. Because just recently, I saw myself that night when I went to sleep. I saw myself. It was like God was talking to me, and he said to me, why didn't you do what I asked you to do?
Wow.
So now I don't care. I mean, really and truly, I know that God has called me to do this. I've only been doing this publicly for about 3 weeks. And when I tell you that lives have been changed just from conversation, just from encouraging and pushing them out. And God has shown me that this is not just for here local. I have literally seen myself traveling the world with this mandate of women really walking into their true identity, their true authentic selves, and just being who they are and celebrate themselves, because like we don't celebrate ourselves. We always celebrate other people. You know, I have this gift of cooking. I love to cook. I used to love to cook. I used to love to cook. But people started boxing me only in the kitchen. Only thing that Tahisha was good for was in the kitchen, baking a cake or whatever. And I'm like, there has to be more, you know, than me being in the kitchen. And when I started hearing that, I saw myself as this big fat woman in the kitchen just cooking. And I mean, and it was literally making me sick to my stomach. I stopped cooking. And the girls were like, Mom, you don't even cook anymore. And so when I told them, you know, what I was dealing with, and Jada was like, wow, that is deep. So I think that was just God's way of pushing me to do what I needed to do. I don't know what the future looks like. I don't even know how this is going to do, but I'm just listening to his voice and I am just moving. I plan on having this big celebration next year. Right now I got $0. But I see this big party. Big party of ladies, and we are just celebrating ourselves. I've even seen the speakers. Some people at this table is going to be there. I mean, literally, it's just this big event, and it's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger, because women are going to begin to walk in their confidence and just to know who they are. And so that's my mandate. That's where I am, and I'm going to stick to it.
Nice. All right. That's good.
That's amazing. Yep.
Hi, I'm Dr. Angie, and one of the scriptures that I just completely rely on is Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing. He that hath begun a good work in you shall perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. My mandate is to empower and inspire women to come from behind the scenes, to operate in their gifting, to acknowledge that God has called them. Just like the therapist said, she said, I think, no, you don't think. I do have, I will have. And so I try to help them change their verbiage, their language about themselves, because if God called you, he has already qualified you. And so when the spirit of judgment from others starts trying to get in my spirit, I go right to, I'm confident in what I do. And I might be walking in fear, confident in what I do, but it's going to be done. And so it's important for me to, you know, like I said, we don't celebrate ourselves. It's always a fear sometimes to celebrate yourself because of what people might say, because of that judgmental spirit that they have. You know, I never put myself above other people. What makes me happy when I've walked in my purpose is seeing the other person happy. You know, the gratitude of thank you, the gratitude of them seeing, you know, being recognized and acknowledged for their good work. You know, that's what makes me excited and makes me go back to being confident of this very thing. He that hath begun a good work in you, in me, will perform it. And when I see people who God has allowed me to minister to, when I see people that, you know, okay, God, this gonna be a battle, but I'm gonna stay in the battle, not for their cause, but for your cause that's in them. And so that, you know, that's what I'm going to throw in the fire pit on tonight, the judgment and opinions of other people. I'm not trying to be better than anybody. I'm not trying to show anybody anything. The only person that I want to expose is Jesus Christ. And that's my mandate, to expose him, you know, to allow him to get the glory, to let other people be invited to who he is so that they can walk in their purpose. And if I don't do anything else, I'm going to stand up for what's right, regardless of what your opinion is, regardless of how you feel or think about me. I'm going to be confident in this very thing, that he that hath begun a good work in me shall perform it through Jesus Christ. So the performing comes through you. The good work comes there. He will perform it. And so I'm excited that, you know, tonight judgment goes in the fire pit. Judgment goes in the fire pit. And, you know, I mean, and that's what I struggle with that sometimes. I really do. Oh my God, here she goes again, you know. I mean, what's she trying to do this time? And, you know, then God just gives me a word, you know, he gives me a word. So I'm excited to be a part of Launching Deeper. And I believe that, yes, there is deeper in each one of us at this table on tonight. And we're going to live to see it.
That's good.
That's
good.
Well, I actually believe that I am operating in who God has called me to be. I still believe in the scripture that in order to be great, you must be a servant. So after a while, I decided, after speaking to the good Lord and hearing his voice clearly, he asked me, why aren't you doing what I told you to do? Yes, I did tell you to be a servant, but what he's called me to do will still have me serving his people. And that is marriage ministry. That is everything you all see about my husband and I on Facebook is real and it's of God. The scripture that he gave me is, in the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father. I promise God that if he did the same thing that he does for Jay-Z and Beyonce, for Kim and Ricardo, then we will give him the glory. So my Maserati is on the screen. I want them to see that if Beyonce and Jay-Z can drive a Maserati, the kingdom can drive a Maserati. That's right. And I don't have to do anything wrong to get there.
There you go.
I don't have to do anything wrong to get there. But I'm in a good place right now. I'm excited about what we're doing. But what you all were saying, that was me. And God had to speak to me and say, no, ma'am. This is what I told you to do. And I'm going to hold you responsible for not doing what I told you to do. So I'm excited. And I believe, and I'm going to scare you all. The one thing that the enemy does hold for me that I have to put in there, and he tells me often that what makes you think that you're going to be on this grand stage? He tells me that my skin is too dark. He says, look before you and see who's on the grand stage of everything that you see around. You don't see me, your skin color. It's going to be, just look out there. And I look and I think about that, and I have to go back and fight the enemy and say, the devil is a lie. I'm going to show you this dark-skinned sister is going to do what thus says the Lord. And he's going to get the glory.
Amen. Amen.
So I can truly say that I feel like God is just, he's just around this table in so many ways. The energy is just so powerful. So I am extremely excited. I'm an introvert. So I don't like speaking out. So my thing is to be able to step outside of my comfort zone and speak out. Each one of you have said something that has been a issue for me. You know, and when I say an issue, I have always considered myself a servant from a young child. I am a nurse, so I'm a caretaker, and I'm constantly taking care of everybody else. I have done a lot of things. You know, I have accomplished a lot of things, but I don't celebrate myself.
Yeah.
I keep it very quiet. When I have, when you talk about the car, you know, got this car that my husband was excited about, and I was like, no, don't put it on Facebook. You know,
Yeah. Drive on Sunday. I'm all in Walmart. That's right.
you're gonna drive it. No, I don't want to drive it. Let's just. So why did we get the car? I was like, well, I've always wanted the car, but then why aren't you celebrating what you have? You know, so to sit here and to hear what each of you have said so far has really it has really touched me deeply. And so my thing is to step outside my comfort zone. There is so much that I want to do. I have so much potential, and I want to do a lot, but I always put myself on the back burner, and I do everything else for everybody else. So I'm going to put me first.
You guys would know, and I want to get your permission to share a little bit of your story. So my nephew was 15 and was playing basketball outside in the neighborhood where they lived, and he had a heart defect that wasn't detected, and he died. So my sister-in-law and my brother, you know, to see what they went through all those years, it was, you know, the crazy thing about it is you hear all the time about, or not, you know, you hear about people losing people. And on the outside, you, I don't know, you know, you feel it, but again, you're not going through it. My brother, with the assistance of Rose and his other son, they wrote a book documenting the whole process from when we lost Very to where they are now. And I will tell you, reading that book, it just, you know, you look at the stuff you say to people, you look at how a lot of times, and not just in losing someone, but when people go through different things and we say, what? They should be over it. Why are they still dealing with that? But you, until you really hear that story, I really saw myself, and it was like, wow, I will never look at people losing someone the same way. And just their courage to do what they're doing. They have a foundation in honor of their son. And I mean, it is amazing. So I just want to say, that's deep. That's launching deep. When you can come out of the pain of losing a child, which I can't even imagine, you know, and to be where you guys are now, to be able to write about it and to tell your story, it is amazing. So
I'm RENITA. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Anita.
I am a pastor's wife of 10 years and homeschooled my kids for 12 years and sold real estate for 19 years, but I've always been a person that's helping someone else. So it's my children are in college now, and I found I do everything for other people. You know, even with, you know, it's like, okay, well, I've had a really great year in real estate this year. It's like, okay, well, all right, you know, kids' college is taken care of. I'm like, okay, now the college is taken care of. What about me?
right.
I've been, you know, always, you know, behind the scenes, you know, doing things for other people. You know, I'm always like, okay, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? And so then a part of our church is a part of a network of churches, and they were like, well, what can we do to help pastors' wives? And I was like, okay, well,
right, well, pastors' wives, we need a retreat, and we just need community, because most of us are just kind of separated. So what ended up happening was the organization said, okay, well, we're going to do more ministry for pastors' wives, and we want you to lead it. And I was like, okay, sure. And so then they're coming to me, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, wait, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, oh no, I don't know. I'm totally like a fish out of water right now, because I am always, trying to help others. So I was like, okay, Lord, you gave me you're giving me a vision for this. All right, I need to just be comfortable in what it is that you told me to do, and go ahead and do it, and be confident in it, and not be like, okay, is this right? I want to ask someone else, do you think this is okay? They're asking me, and I'm like, oh. So that is what I'm probably, I guess what I'm going to be putting in the piece of paper is just the fear, maybe a little bit of anxiety, just that I'm more confident in what it is that the Lord has my role as, besides being a support for everyone else. So that is where I need to be launching deeper, and really, I feel like some of y'all understand what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, I'm the lead person, and now I'm like, oh Lord, and then I have to go back to the Lord and be like, okay, Lord, this is what you told me to do. I think, you just have to go back and say, and be confident in what he told you.
Right.
That's it. Just be confident in what he told you, and that is it.
That's good.
That's
beautiful.
good.
That's beautiful.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon. It's so much that I could share, but I want to keep it brief as well, because it's cold out. And I don't want to share too much, because one day there's going to be a book. So I don't want to get away.
That's good.
But I think what I'm going to put on paper is going to be fear. There are fear in so many areas of my life. And I don't want to say that I'm an introvert, even though I don't like speaking in front of people. Right. But when I get in an intimate group, y'all know I'm crazy. Right. Those that know me, she crazy. Right. But I think it's not a fear of speaking in front of people. I think it is a tactic of the enemy that has me fooled, because there's something so powerful that God wants to speak through me, that the enemy has me thinking, you don't like speaking in front of people, because I have so much to say. I've gone through so much. I mean, that's that Will Murphy song just sticks out in my head. This is your season for grace and for favor. And I'm just going to embrace it. And I'm just going
what you have sown.
Let me tell you, I have sown a lot. And I've gone through a lot. And God is saying, I'm going to give you double for your trouble. I am going to, restore you. I'm going to redeem the time. And I just gotta, put my eyes on God. Take my eyes off me, and just put my eyes on Him, and just take my hands off and just let Him do what He wants to do. I can't drive. Let Him drive. And it's time for me to be a passenger.
That's it.
And so I'm gonna put fear in there, and I'm just gonna see what the end gonna be.
Preach it.
The light bulb moment for me was when Pastor Bishop now, but he was a pastor then, did an altar call. And he asked people to just come up to the front. And it wasn't even for what I was dealing with. It was for women who had tongue rings. I'm like, why am I walking up here? God was calling me. He was like, get up here. You need this. And I mean, not that I only just stand at the altar. I went up on the altar with Elder and them, okay? Because I know I needed this desperately. And that was my call for desperation. And it was like, and then I go through, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor with breast cancer.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, God, you think I can handle that too? On top of what I just been through? He gets you through it. He gets you through it. There was no way that I could have done that by myself. And I said, it had to be God. And I'll tell anybody, it was God. It was all God, because you have no idea what your future even looks like. All you know is what you're in the moment. And in the moment, your life is just like dying. And it's like, okay, I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to give up. And I've never had sisters. I grew up with 5 older brothers. And I've always admired strong women, and always like, I want to be one of them one day. And you know, you all are complaining about being there for other people. We need you. I tell you. Hey, don't stop. So now, fast forward, it's like the Bannister family. Bev, you already know.
Don't do
that. She got my heart. She got my heart. They saw something in me that said, okay, we're going to open up this new dealership. You're the person to be in that dealership. They saw that in me. How they say? I couldn't see it. I said, what are you talking about?
Perfect person.
I was like, what is the position? Shouldn't even have asked that, right? Because I was like, I don't care. It's a job. Whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. But the title was actually Owner Loyalty Manager. And I was like, okay, got the word owner in it. Okay. Got the word manager in it. I'll take it. I got you. And I'm telling you, y'all have taken me on a trip that is just like, in God's eyes, he's like, just follow me. Follow me. I'll take care of you.
Wow.
So, Bev, you got my heart. You got my heart.
Wow.
Thank you all for even listening, because it's womenhood like this, this strength. You can't trust everybody.
That's right.
And I just felt like I could. That's right. And just meeting some of you, but I knew you would get it. So God bless all of you.
God put me on a journey in 2016 to start a ministry where I had the opposite problem. I wanted to be up front. I was going to be the next Priscilla Schreiber. I was good with that. But God said, first you're going to serve. I grew up a nurse, so serving's in my blood, but he said, you're going to serve in this area first. And I want you to serve women who don't have a platform, who need to be seen. I look at women like Beth Moore and Priscilla Schreiber. I'm very grateful for what they brought to ministry, for the teachings, but they're on a level they can't reach down and pull anybody else up for fear of their status. And we need women who are able and willing to pull women along. Status.
That's good.
So my ministry is based on Luke 1:45, which is, blessed is she who believed there would be a fulfillment of what the Lord says. Come on. And my platform is always been and started off very diverse. And I told God from the beginning that if we're going to do this platform, it can't be like all the other platforms. We have to break the silos that are in our community, that are in our churches. We don't need to all look alike. We don't need to all come from the same background. We don't need to all be the same color or age or denomination. And so my ministry does sit out as a parachurch ministry. That does not mean I don't applaud and love the local church. I believe in the local church, but he set this one outside because it can't belong to any one particular place. It has to be a network. And so
that's the new thing.
From the get-go, I've been building a network of women who were willing to come alongside women and pull the curtain back and say, this is how I'm getting there, and I'm not afraid to tell you, because what God has given me, he's given me. What he's given you, he's given you. And this is not a competition. Right. And so I've been very blessed with some of the women that God has absolutely just walked in my path. I had no connection to them beforehand. And we began to build this platform And then COVID hit. We got off to a great start. We had a good first year. I was coaching some people. We did a conference. It was growing. It was starting. And COVID hit. And God told me to separate from the church that I was in at that point, because he said, I'm not trying to speak anything negative against the church, but he said, you are ready to go further than they are willing to go.
Yeah.
You're willing to cross boundaries they are not, and you need to move out from underneath that leadership. And so we did. So we've kind of parked it during COVID. We've enjoyed online sermons. I'd already been around in the area before that and visited various churches, and I don't say that to pander to you all. Like, I love going to Calvary Revival, and I've been to an event at the Mount, and I've tried to go to places where people don't look like me. So how else am I going to get to know you if I don't come to you? Lord knows my people have a problem living in the door sometimes. So I'm a recovering Southern Baptist. I'm pretty sure I should have been Pentecostal. So 2 things that truly finding my way, y'all. So 2 things he challenged me on during COVID is, and one of the biggest things he said in COVID is, I'm hiding you. And you know when God hides you, there's going to be a presentation at some point. And so I've trusted him in that. But 2 of the things that I did crazy in COVID to do is I took a piece of my ministry, which is a for-profit, and started the non-profit. So that the conference and some other work I'll tell you about in a second can go forth. But so I started a non-profit in September of 2020, also under that branding. And I started my master's in theology, but I said, I'm not going to reach them. Most of the people at Regent look like me. So Jake's divinity school had just come out and was launching, and I said, well, they take a little crazy white girl from Suffolk. I'll be willing to go, because I think I've always followed T.D. Jakes. I love T.D. Jakes. I love his brains and his brilliance and his word that he can give. And so I started at Jake's divinity school also in the fall of 2020. I want to continue to grow, and I want that diversity to come, and I want to be seen as someone who's serious at the table.
I know who I am.
Yeah.
And I know if I'm your friend, I'm your friend for
Yes.
real.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not gonna judge you.
That's right.
I'm just not up for that. I want to be with someone who's real.
Yeah.
I'm not competing with nobody. I just want to be with somebody to be able to be myself. I want to be accepted for who I am, and I'm going to accept you the same way.
Yes.
So the thing I'm going to put in that fire is I'm going to find my voice.
All right. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put we're going to put our whatever, if it's a limiting belief, if it's, if it's something that has been blocking or stopping. I am burning my fear of failure.
I'm burning my fear of not having a voice. I'm going to find my voice.
Woo! Yes.
I'm burning the fear of others' opinions and judgment.
Yes.
I am burning the fear of celebrating myself.
Yes!
I am burning the fear of rejection and not being enough.
Yes. Woo!
I'm burning the fear of worrying about what others say and just getting the things done.
That's right.
Yes.
Burning the fear of not being good enough.
Yes.
Okay, I am burning the fear of stepping outside of my comfort zone.
Woo!
Yes.
I am burning the fear of believing that I can be like all of you.
I am burning people pleasing and doubt.
Awesome.
I am burning the fear of letting God use me.
I am going to burn financial limitation. And I am going to burn Satan's ability to keep diversity from happening.
Yes, I love that.
That's good.